she got in trouble because she didn't have her own makeup. Everybody talks, they're unprofessional, they show up not prepared, their clothes are dirty, their clothes are unironed, and then it doesn't really look good on you. To tell you how many panic attacks I've had is probably, it's just not really gonna help.
1, 2, 3, let's switch this up.
Hi honeys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Anastasia, also known as your fave social media girl. For those who are new, you already know the drill. Please, please, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. It would really help me out. And of course, don't forget to turn on your notification bell button so you know every single time that I post, which is on Fridays. Well, before we get started, I have two little things to say. Number one, I have officially finished writing everything in my notebook. Literally, this video will be the last video that's being used by my iconic notebook that has all of the very trusty information that I give to you honeys from my YouTube. So I like to take a moment for this notebook because I'm really gonna miss it so much. Okay, we took a moment. I will be using a new notebook, which is kind of cute. It's like, you know, pink with polka dots. I got it at the dollar store. I really love it. So I'm excited. Next YouTube video is going to be brainstormed in there. My second announcement that I wanted to make. I did a short film a couple months ago, back in April. I made a video, like a vlog video out of it. If you want to check it out, I'm going to link it up here. And essentially the guy who was playing my boyfriend, he became a good friend of mine and he really helped me out. He's older than me. He's been in the industry for a while. Recently, when I got signed by my agent, he sent me this book through the mail and he wrote a really nice little message in there. It is The Actor's Life Survival Guide by Jenna Fisher. So she plays Pam on The Office. And so she essentially wrote this book and she's had like a really tough time in the industry by going up, you know, it's ups and downs and everything. And she kind of makes essentially a survival guide. And so he sent it to me to read it because he's like, I feel like you're ready for it. You've had such a crazy up and down experience with acting as well. And so I've been reading it and I highly, highly, highly recommend this book for you honeys because I just think she really talks about everything like headshots, agents, resumes, cover letters, like the reality of it. It's really not that glamorous that people see on the Oscars and whatnot and blah, blah. And it's been really helping me out because a lot of the things that I have went through, I really do also kind of connect with what she's saying. So really recommend checking out this book. I just wanted to kind of give that little thing. Honeys, hi. I know I am coming to you at a different day, obviously, than the video that you're watching right now, but I just wanted to quickly put this like little edit in. So I am having a very exciting video come out in a few days. It's going to be a collab with a Vancouver actor, which I'm so excited to be doing it because a lot of you honeys are actually based in Vancouver and are asking me questions related to Vancouver and acting. And it's hard for me sometimes to fully give you the information. So what's gonna happen is that I'm going to be interviewing this Vancouver actor and they're gonna be interviewing me. And we're gonna talk about the differences between Vancouver and Toronto acting. So with that being said, honeys, what are your questions? Comment them down below in the video. You can also DM me at Anastasia_PR. You can ask me your questions there. If you want to ask me about Toronto or about Vancouver, they'll be able to answer the Vancouver obviously in a lot more detail. And then we're just going to compare the both together. So ask your questions. I'm so excited to do this video. It's going to be a fun little collab. Okay, back to the video now. Okay, honeys, let's get started. We are doing another background acting video this week. I said in my previous acting video that I was going to do a little video based on like when they tell you what to bring for your own clothes for background, like what do you do? I wanted to do this video because when I started doing the background acting and if I got booked for something and I did not have a costume fitting, they would send you a list and sometimes, well, okay, let's be real here. It was not sometimes. Most of the time, it was a very confusing email of what you had to bring, and always it came the night before, and sometimes it would come as late as like 12 or 1 in the morning, and then you needed to be on set the next day for 9 a.m., and you're trying to scram whatever you have in your closet for essentially like what you have to bring. So I wanted to kind of create my own little like guide to what does that mean when you have to bring your own clothes and what you're looking for and, you know, kind of what to stress about, what not to stress about, and all the little things in between. The number one thing is that when you get the like breakdown of the whole entire email, make sure you read the entire email. Do not skim through it. I mean, read it. All the hair stuff, all the makeup stuff, everything, and make sure you're also reading the part that you're playing, because when they send out the email, they'll send out an email about every single person that is on set for background. Like, let's say if you are playing something to do with like TV reporters, cameraman, journalists, and then let's say cops. Make sure you know who you're playing and then you're reading the part of who you're playing, okay? If it's something like specific, like the 1950s, for example, you're filming in something that is set during that time, they will give you an exact list of what they're looking for. They'll even provide sometimes photos. So really make sure you take a look at the photos and see kind of what you're going for in that sort of setting. Most of the time, that will be a costume fitting. I never had to bring my own clothes because that's something very specific where, I mean, no one casually has like 1950s inspired clothing sitting in their closet. If it's not, like I said, they'll give you specific items of what they need. And the rule of thumb is that you want to have 2 to 3 full outfits ready to go for them. So that means if they want like the hats and the accessories down to the shoes, you will have a full outfit created for them from head to toe, 2 to 3 options. Try not to bring a bunch of different, like I'm gonna bring you 7 pants and then 2 shirts and then maybe 1 hat and then 5 pairs of shoes. It's a little too much. So try to keep it all balanced between 2 to 3 options of the pants, 2 to 3 options of the shirts. If you need to wear a dress, 2 to 3 options of the dress, like whatever it is. And then make sure it's in a garment bag, 100% very, very important that it's nicely hung in a garment bag. And OMG, I cannot stress this enough. I've talked about this in my videos before. Please, honeys, bring your clothes washed and ironed. Cannot tell you how many times I've seen people come to background and they're pulling out clothes and like there's like stains on them. They are clearly out of the laundry basket, unwashed. They are not ironed. It's like such a hot mess and it's just work for them. Like when you're on set sometimes and there's like 300 background people on that day for set, the costume designers really do not have time to like also wash, like first of all, they're not gonna wash your clothes because there's nowhere to wash your clothes, but then they also have to iron everything and blah, blah, blah. And they've been there since probably 4 a.m. and everyone's tired and everything. Everybody talks. And they can always contact your agency and just say, hey, listen, I don't know who you send out, but they're unprofessional. They show up not prepared. Their clothes are dirty. Their clothes are unironed. It's more work for us, and then it doesn't really look good on you. So you always want to kind of give a good repertoire when you're on set. So make sure it's in a garment bag. It doesn't necessarily have to be in a garment bag, but just make sure it's hung nicely. You can even put a plastic bag over it if you want, whatever, just so it doesn't get, rained on and blah, blah, blah. So that's very important. Something I actually didn't know until I came onto set. Don't sweat if you don't have 2 to 3 full outfits. Because when I actually came on set one time, this is the first gig I booked that did not have a costume fitting and I had to bring my own stuff and I was playing a TV reporter from like the 1990s, early 2000s sort of vibe. So they were very specific of what they wanted. I didn't have necessarily everything that they were looking for, but I had enough-ish for them to bring, and I was kind of freaking out because I actually didn't have any of the jackets that they were looking for and I didn't have any of the shoes that they wanted. So when I got on set, the wardrobe team will actually have like racks and racks of clothing options there for you because they can't always rely that somebody's gonna have something. And sometimes the things that you bring, let's say if you brought 2 to 3 beautiful full outfits, it's actually completely not what they're looking for and it will maybe clash with the colors because maybe some of the main cast members are wearing already those colors and they don't want the background people to wear the same colors. So don't sweat it. They will give you their wardrobe options instead. You just give them your sizing and then they'll pull some stuff out for you because that's what ended up happening to me. I played a TV reporter and I actually wore my pants, but then the shirt and the jacket is something that they provided for me and the shoes they provided for me as well. So it's not a huge deal. Just try your best as much as you can, provide them with that. But if you can't, it's really not a big deal. They'll always have something extra out there for you. Men, women, everyone, bring nude undergarments. Do not bring hot pink or beautifully red, like crazy blue colored undergarments or anything like that. Make sure your boxers are a normal color. Your underwear is normal, bras, tights, like socks, like everything. Bring extra stuff if you need to. They'll have some undergarments, but not everything, obviously, because of hygiene issues and whatnot. So you need to make sure that you have your undergarments because that's very important. You're gonna need that. I always bring like 2 to 3 pairs of tights. I'll bring like maybe 3 different colors of underwear just in case. Because sometimes, like I said, when you bring your own stuff, you don't know exactly what you're wearing. So I might wear white shoes. Well, black socks are not gonna go with it. So then I'll bring my white socks, or I might be wearing black shoes and white socks are a little too much. And then I'll bring my black socks. So I bring a little bit of everything just so I'm always prepared and I don't have issues. And then, I don't, you know the rest. You got the rest. Sometimes you'll get get an email and they don't say anything specific, you're just playing, let's say, a streetwalker, and that's it. And they're just kind of like, present day streetwalker, and that's all they say, and they don't really give you sort of like a guide of what they're looking for and where to go for. And this can get really tough because then you're sitting there being like, well, do I bring like 3 suitcases of clothing? No, you don't have to bring 3 suitcases of clothing. Really good things that help out on camera. So do not wear big flashy colors. Like, let's take, for example, the example of a streetwalker. Don't wear flashy colors, because if it just so happens that you are going to be close around the camera and close around the main cast members, when you wear really flashy colors, the camera like picks up on that really a lot, and obviously they don't want to pick up on you as much. They want to pick up more on what's happening in the scene. So avoid the big like outrageous colors, flashy patterns, crazy print, whatever. Like all of that stuff is a little too much for the camera, so you want to avoid that. Layering is awesome. I find that background wardrobe designers love layering. So for example, you can, like, maybe if I wanted to wear this turtleneck and then I wanted to put a jean jacket over it, that's fine, because there's a little bit of color, but it's not like the whole thing is this like beautiful pink color. I have a denim jacket that goes over. Leather jackets are great. You can bring up like 2 to 3 options for, like, let's say scarves or something. Hats I find is like, usually hats are only if you're doing a specific time setting. I never find them ever like getting you to wear hats and stuff like that unless you're like trying to play something specific, like a cop or whatever. Shoes, same thing, like 2 to 3 shoes, something comfortable that you can be walking around in for probably like a 12-hour day, let's say, if that's the case. Same thing with pants, like just like very nice neutral pants. Like don't wear hot pink jean pants or something like that. Keep it down to, you know, down to the lower level in terms of color and stuff like that. Also look at the season of what you're filming. Obviously don't bring winter inspired clothing. Like right now it's November in Toronto. It's getting like, you know, it's fallish, it's cold, but I could be, you know, filming something that's in the summer. I'm obviously not going to bring this turtleneck because that would make no sense. So make sure you always take a look at what you're also filming, the season, the time, everything. Sometimes they will not say that in the email, and that is annoying. So you have to do a little bit of research on your own. And then same sort of thing, like if you are playing a streetwalker and they didn't give you any sort of guidelines what they want, same thing. Try to bring 2 to 3 full outfits for them, and that will just make it easier for you and for the wardrobe people as well. When it comes to hair and makeup, this is going for both men and women. If they don't say anything about hair or makeup like at all, that means just wash your hair and just come in with natural, clean, washed hair. That's it. Don't style it. If your hair is curly, do not make it straight. And if your hair is straight, do not make it curly. Just come totally neutral, normal style. They will always have makeup and hairstylists on set all the time. So sometimes they'll just touch it up a little bit. Maybe they'll straighten out the ends or something. Maybe they'll just comb the hair or gel here and there, whatever. But just come with it, just washed, totally normal, natural, and that's gonna be great. Same thing with makeup. For women, if they don't say anything for makeup, that just means that you just wanna have like kind of camera ready makeup, where it's just a little bit of foundation, just a bit of blush, just to kind of bring out, you know, your cheeks a little, and just neutral eyeshadow, very, very nude eyeshadow, you know, skin colored eyeshadow, and then of course some mascara. And very little mascara. Like what I'm wearing in terms of mascara is a lot. I would not do this much, just a few, you know, coats, and then that's it. Just so you can sort of like, you're not washed out by the camera, especially if you're really far away, you can sort of have a little bit something. Again, the makeup artist will be there, and the makeup artist will touch up on a few little things, so you don't really have to worry about that. Men, same thing. You could do a little bit of foundation, maybe a bit of blush. You don't have to worry about the eyeshadow or the mascara. If you want, you can, but it's not a huge thing. Same thing for you. Makeup artist will be there, so they will touch up between, you know, scenes and whatnot and all that good stuff. If they do tell you what to do with hair and makeup, most of the time they might, let's say if you're playing something from the 1950s, it's very specific hairstyles, they might ask you to like set your hair the night before, and then you'll come on set with all the, you know, whatever you're doing to your hair in there, and then they'll take it out and style it accordingly to what they're doing. Same thing with makeup. They might say just do foundation, and all you do is literally just foundation, and then they'll do the rest when you come on set. Like that is a thing that has happened to me before. I don't know if this is because of COVID, but always bring your stuff for hair and makeup, because I have been in very awkward situations. I actually had to play a flashback episode for background, and I was playing someone from a sorority, and I was a 1980s inspired sorority girl. They never said anything about makeup in the breakdown, like zero. So I, as a background performer, assumed, oh, that means just come neutral face, and then they will probably touch up with color. Thank goodness, oh my gosh, thank goodness I was smart enough to bring my own makeup. They essentially were like, do you have your own makeup here? And I said, yes. So I went and got it, and he completely only used my makeup. He did not touch his makeup at all whatsoever. The girl next to me, I felt so bad for her, but when she was getting her makeup done, the makeup artist asked if she brought her own makeup, and she said no, and she got in trouble because she didn't have her own makeup. And she defended herself, and I also kind of said, you guys never said anything in the email about makeup or bringing your own makeup, so how are we supposed to assume that we have to bring our own makeup? So that's my biggest thing about background, is that we're always last to find things out. We're always last on the call list, and that's completely understandable, of course, because if you're going down by the totem pole, yes, we are kind of sort of on the bottom, but it makes our job really difficult because when they don't say things properly in the email, I'm following what the email says. And if that's what it says, then that's what it says. So just to keep yourself safe and you don't want to have issues, bring your own makeup, bring your own comb. I've had moments where they didn't want to use their hair elastics because of COVID. So I didn't have hair elastics. So bring your own hair elastics, whatever, gel, bobby pins, whatever you need, just bring it. You're better, just to have it than not have it. And then you have issues on set. So yes, just remember that these emails can be kind of confusing, and do not have a panic attack or an anxiety attack when you get these emails, because I've already had that before. Just read through it carefully, try to bring what you can. And if you don't, it's not a big deal. Remember that I don't know what it is, but there's a stigma that unfortunately background performers do not get treated well on sets. That is something that really pisses me off when I come on set, and when I see that, I really try to defend myself or defend the person that is being treated unfairly, because it's not nice. We do our best. If the email is confusing, the email's confusing, not our fault. It should have been given to us in more of a, clear form, and it wasn't. So do not let people to be mean to you. Do not let people to walk all over you. Just do your best. Do your 2-3 outfits, bring your makeup and bring your hair stuff, do your neutral face, your neutral hair, unless they specifically ask you to curl it or whatever. But yeah, so don't worry about all that kind of stuff. It just, you don't need 3 suitcases. Most of the time I do bring a solid, big bag of the clothing and stuff like that. Most of the time I'd say 50% off, I would wear my own clothing, and then the other half of it would be their clothing. So I've actually never worn fully only my clothing. I always end up wearing at least 1 to 2 pieces of theirs. So that's the other thing, that they write this huge email about all these things that you need to bring, and at the end of the day, you still end up wearing theirs. So I don't really worry about it. Don't get too freaked out about it. So yeah. Honeys, this is the end of my what to bring to background if you have to bring your own clothing. I'm so excited to do this video. I think this video is going to really help a lot of you, because when I was doing my background, I wish a video like this existed, because, to tell you how many panic attacks I've had is probably... it's just not really gonna help, but there's many panic attacks because the emails are very confusing. Anyways, don't forget to subscribe. You can also follow me on Instagram at Anastasia_Piero, and don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. And of course, comment below things that you like to bring when you're going on to background, things that are helpful for you. If there's anything I missed, please comment below. Let's help each other out. Let's create a big community of honeys and, get to know each other all. Love you, honeys, and I'm going to see you all next Friday. Mwah. Bye.